up, Pickle Peeps? Today we are talking about project management. Now, the other day I went over time management, how I love to use the Pomodoro Technique. There's a whole bunch more Pomodoro stuff coming soon because I think it's so important. It's like life-changing as far as getting work done. But a second half to time management is project management, and I'm going to give you one of my secret sheets to project management today. So let's get to it. But first, my name is Melissa Pikul. Welcome to The Handmade How, the place where we break down the how of handmade marketing and quick marketing tips so that you can get back to focusing on making profits and products. I know, we're makers. We love to make. So let's get started here. I'm going to keep this super simple because in order for a process or a system to actually be effective, it has to be simple. It's a rule. You guys have heard of KISS. I believe the nice version that I heard is keep it simple, sweetie. The version I've always heard in my life has been keep it simple, stupid. I guess it's our first question of the day. Let me know below. Are you a keep it simple, sweetie, or a keep it simple, stupid kind of person? Yes, emphasis when you say stupid. So, to be super, super simple and follow the KISS principle, I do all my project management right here in this little book. This is actually my daily to-do book, and like this thing travels with me everywhere. It is a rare day that I miss. And okay, this one started on February 20th, and my days look something like this. One, I am a super fan of crossing stuff out on my lists, and two, I do like doing them the night before, so the next day I can hit the ground running instead of trying to figure out what should I be doing first. Now, those parts are kind of superfluous, doesn't really matter. You can track your projects, your days, however you want. I do highly recommend tracking your days, having some kind of project tracker, maintenance tracker, especially if you are a cross things out person, a check things off person, any of that. I find it so helpful to see at the end of the day, like what I've accomplished so you can feel satisfied, and what has not been accomplished so it can roll over into the next day, or assess, does this project actually matter or not? Is this actually urgent or not? I was just reading today something in Pomodoro about like urgent tasks, and it was hilarious, and I'll get to that in another video. So my system is night before. I definitely recommend doing it. Doesn't have to be at night. It could be when you finish your work day. Take that last 10 minutes after you've cleaned up your workspace. Like I actually do that part. But after you've at least neatened or finished your workspace for the day, and bring out your project tracker, your to-do list, your little green book of tasks, or whatever it may be. Green, blue, teal, I don't know what color this is, teal. And matches everything else in the studio. You guys can't see the wall across from me is also teal. But bring out your tracking book. Maybe you're tracking software, maybe you're doing stuff in Asana and Google Calendar, wherever, however you're doing it. And plan out your steps for the next day. Now, I have a friend, Coach Andrew George, who does his time blocking, and he sets his time blocking for the week. He does it on Friday, and he sets out his next week, and boom, locks down his calendar. That's fantastic. I am a little more in the wind than that. I wish I was as good as Coach Andrew George on locking down project management, but I'm not. My days are a little wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey kind of days. And I need a system that's going to be a bit more fluid than that. So what I do is I go in and I write my tasks. Now, however you set yourself up, you might have personal tasks, you might have business tasks all together that might be separated, any of that, I don't know. But all tasks, I will tell you, in your life, in your business, fall under 3 categories. And this is where the magic happens, Pickle Peeps, is Melissa's 3 M's. Now, the only place that I have talked about this before has been in one of our BizFit boot camps. By the way, boot camp registration is open for Q3, where we focus on lead gen so that you can have a kick-ass Q4. I'll link that down below for the BizFit Formula Bootcamp. It's a 3-day implementation experience. It's going to be amazing. It takes place at the end of June, from the 28th to the 30th. But regardless, the only time I've ever taught this has been, or even talked about it really, besides to myself, has been in our first ever, our Q1 bootcamp. That we did. And it's basically Melissa's 3 M's. And what it means is that you can, and depending on how your brain works, you might have to work up to this. It used to be that I had to have 2 journals or I had to use 2 pages. 1 page was just to brain dump all the stuff I gotta do and get it out of your head onto paper in a list format. A, because scratching stuff off is fun. And B, like I said, you need to get it out of your head. You need to flow it through all the anxiety, all the stress, all the weight that these tasks hold, get it through your head, down your neck, down your arm, or through your shoulder, down your arm, out your fingers, through the pen, boom. Now that weight is held in the book, in the paper. And it's okay. It's all right there. It's safe there. Versus being sitting in your head as anxiety, as forgotten tasks, as missed opportunities. So, step number 1, write all your tasks down. Step number 2 is to organize your tasks by level. And this follows the 3M system. I classify tasks as mandatory, maintenance, or minutia. I'll do that again. Mandatory, maintenance, or minutia. Now, and you might be, that might be enough right there for you to just like hit the books, run in and go and really start tackling your project management. What it means, though, is mandatory are the tasks that must happen. No matter what, that is the priority task or tasks for the day. Really don't recommend having more than 3 mandatory tasks because that can get overwhelming and that does not allow for interruptions. And if something takes a long time, like forget about it. And if mandatory tasks slip day to day to day, that can be anxiety inducing too. So the things that must get done, the highest priority. Now, note, these are not repeatable tasks. Repeatable tasks go into another section. So mandatory is like the one-off, the big projects. Maybe you're working on a collection launch. And so stuff for that is mandatory that it get done today. All right, our second M in here is maintenance. This is where your routine tasks go. Filling orders is a maintenance task. These are still things that must get done, but they're at a lower level. So if things shift around, if the shit hits the fan on your day, you know the highest priority one is the mandatory items. Maintenance items slip down a priority level, okay? Shipping orders out, it depends on your system and whatnot. If it can move a day, if that's something that can happen, or not, maybe you had a backlog, or it's now Monday after a busy weekend, and shipping orders is mandatory. I don't know, that one can fluctuate a little bit. Social media is a maintenance task. Responding to emails is a maintenance task. Again, depending on how good you are at keeping steady on top of your maintenance tasks. Sometimes maintenance slips up the priority level to mandatory. There we go. So maintenance are all of the regular standard to-dos. And they might change. You might have different maintenance tasks for different days of the week, all that kind of stuff. I dream of having Friday's maintenance task be clean the studio and reset it for the next week. That is a dream, not a reality right now. But we can still dream. That's how we get there. And then finally, our third tier of tasks here at the bottom level is the minutia tasks. Now, minutia tasks are ones that you'd like to get done, you'd like to do, but it doesn't really matter. This ties back now, I said I was reading a book on Pomodoro Technique. And they mentioned there, they have a slightly different system for how they track their tasks and their interruptions and whatnot. I was reading the section on interruptions, and it was like, they were talking about like any thought that comes into your head to put it down into like a to-do, or they had a separate category. They had the top section of the sheet is like your priority, your task that you're going to do your Pomodoros on, and then you had like a distraction section or a whatnot activities. I forget. That part didn't make much sense to me. Not enough sense to remember anyway. But reading through this person's like distraction thoughts that they had in this example for one palm, so that's 25 minutes, they had in there both order pizza and get Chinese takeout. And I'm reading through, it's like in the beginning of their palm, they wanted a pizza. Like that was their distraction, their buffering section in their head, being like, I don't want to do this work, let's get pizza. And towards the end of their palm, or maybe it wasn't a second palm, but still, I find it hilarious. They're like, oh, let's get takeout Chinese. Mind you, your brain is probably not actually hungry when these thoughts come in, when it's like this and you're in work sections. Your brain is like, I don't want to do the work that we're doing, so let's eat. So yeah, the pizza and the Chinese food just cracked me up, Pickle Peep. But those are minutia tasks in there. Minutia tasks are the ones that if they slip through the cracks, it doesn't actually matter. They are the third tier, the third priority, the lowest priority tasks. And if you get them done, great. If you don't get them done and they slip off, they're the ones that you may assess, do I need to move this task onto my next day or not? I don't know. So those are our three categories of, our three priority categories, really. When we're looking at our tasks, we'll break them down. We have our mandatory, our maintenance, and our minutia. Now, I said before that in the beginning, I would use up like 2 pages in my book. And I had 1 page, which was like brain dump of tasks to do. And then the following page, like the mirror, the open spread there, I would sort them out into, these are my mandatory tasks, these are my maintenance tasks, these are my minutia tasks on there. The minutia task is also the one that, like, those distraction thoughts that are like all in there. Be like, oh, I need to order this on Amazon. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to call this friend that I haven't spoken to in 5 years, because all of a sudden that's really, really important, even though I haven't spoken to them in 5 years. That's what Facebook messages are for. Anyway, that is kind of the start foundation bit to my project management system, and it has served me very, very well. Now, I know there are apps that can do this. I think there's an app called Tomorrow or something like that, where it's you put in your tasks and you check them off, and whatever you don't get done, it automatically rolls over to the next day. I don't know. We have everything we do, I get lots of peace here from handwriting out tasks. And like I said, I don't get the same thing like typing into an app, typing onto the computer, that same action of the anxiety, the weight, the pressure of all of these projects. Since you're in business, it's a lot of pressure on you, going from the head, down the neck, to the shoulders, down the elbow, to the wrist, out the fingers, through the pen, boom, onto the page. Let the page, the physical page, it's a physical action transfer here, carry the weight of those tasks for you. If you're a paper person. If you're not a paper person and you're like, Melissa, I get zero pleasure from actually handwriting things out, go with a computer. But create some sort of system, some tracking way, so you know that you are actually hitting on those mandatory tasks. Because nothing's worse than like focusing on minutia because it's distracting and it's easy stuff, instead of on the mandatory tasks that you need to get done and the maintenance tasks that also need to get done every day. And those are the things that actually move your business forward. Those are how you actually get through big projects and do them well. So that is it for today. Welcome to Melissa's 3M system. No, nothing to do with tape. I thought about that afterwards. But it's 3 M's for Melissa, right? And yeah, that's it. So let me know in the comments below. Do you have a project tracking system that you use? Or are you thinking that you might start adopting the 3M technique? Because 3 M's combined with Pomodoro, like, mwah! Time and project management done. That is it for today, Pickle Peep. I will see you on the next one. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy your new project management system. And yeah. So, for the Handmade How, my name is Melissa Pickle. You have an epic day while you're building your epic business.